All right, so if you follow our channel, you know that we talk about Nicolas Cage probably the most out of any actor on this channel, which is kind of interesting because like usually like now we've talked about more like art house, older films, 60s, 70s. I know we said this we were talking about two 70s movies, but this movie's from 2016, not 1970.
Yeah, I know, but you're thinking of like
Hmm.
Paul Schrader.
Yeah. I'm thinking of Paul Schrader, and today we're talking about Paul Schrader, a later Paul Schrader picture, Dog Eat Dog from 2016, starring Nicolas Cage and Willem Dafoe. And I think the reason why it was just too good to be true when we were looking at the movies to watch.
Hmm.
There was this Paul Schrader movie with Nicolas Cage and Willem Dafoe. We're kind of like, okay, we need to watch this. Like
Yeah,
we're gonna fucking watch this, even though like there was better picks that we were kind of about
yeah,
to choose before that. But then we're just like, fuck it, dude. Let's watch Dog Eat Dog
yeah.
written and directed by Paul Schrader.
We were watching it with Jake, and it's so funny whenever we pick a movie with Jake. I feel like you kind of give us freedom to like choose, but Jake and I are also like very indecisive when it comes
Yeah,
to
you guys are
movies.
so indecisive.
We are, but we're so particular
I
too.
know you guys are
Like,
very particular. It
and
takes a while for us to pick a
yeah,
movie, bro.
it does. But we kind of landed on Paul Schrader. We're like, okay, let's watch a Paul Schrader movie, and there was Hardcore, there was a few other ones, and then he's like, oh, this movie, yeah, Dog Eat Dog, like. It's not the best. I liked it personally. I liked it, but it has Nicolas Cage in it, and like he was still back and forth on it. But when he said Nicolas Cage, and I were both like, dude, this is what we're fucking watching tonight.
Yeah, and this movie, like, people don't like it, but it's our type of movie.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I definitely really like this movie, and I think you liked it too.
yeah. It was good. It was a
Yeah,
trip.
yeah. It's a fucked up movie, but like I said, it's for us as viewers. Like,
Yeah,
whatever our audience is, or whatever we're into, like, this movie, it was, like, very straightforward,
yeah.
right?
It was. Yeah, it was a very basic story, but basic story done like fucking hectically. You
Yeah,
know
yeah,
what I
it's
mean?
it's
Like
a
it's
really
like
basic kidnapping gone wrong story,
yeah,
right? That's literally what it is. It's like these three guys who like met in prison and protected Nicolas Cage in prison so that he had to be, loyal to him. And then when they all get out, they decide to basically return back to the criminal world, and they get hired to do a kidnapping for $750,000,
hmm
which would be 250 for each of them. They have another guy there who's like a no-name kind of actor.
yeah. I think he's a boxer or some dude.
Yeah,
I don't know who the fuck he is, but
yeah.
he's got a big part in this.
Yeah, he's got a big part. He's like the third lead, and also Paul Schrader is in this movie, and he kind of plays the fence guy who gives them the mission. Basically, kind of a boss. The first opening scene is really fucked up. Basically, Willem Dafoe is seeing this kind of white trash fat mom who's
Yeah,
like trying to kick him out, and the daughter lives there, and he ends up like killing both of them really
like doing
gruesomely.
drugs in the bathroom and
Yeah.
then killing both of them in this like neon pink house.
Hmm.
Like it,
Yeah, yeah,
it, it was
yeah.
like a really like cool like straight out of Schrader scene. Like he's got the tattoo on the bottom of his chin.
Yeah, and then but like he kills them both. That's like the opening scene of the movie. Is Willem Dafoe like murdering this mom and her daughter,
Yeah.
and then they have to go and kidnap this little baby from some.
Well, no. First, they have to get money back from this drug dealer guy. They do. They do.
Oh yeah, they do they pretend to be cops.
Yeah. They
Yeah,
pretend to be cops, and that was like a fucking wild scene too. Just given the context of when did this come out? 2016.
yeah.
That's insane, dude.
Hmm.
They're doing that. Like they're impersonating cops really well. They're in this like black neighborhood. They're totally just like playing cops a little too well. And I think Schrader probably adds like some commentary in there on that. I thought that was really interesting. I'm surprised they fucking get away successfully. I'm like, dude, this is where shit's gonna go wrong. But it's like just to show that they like actually can do a job. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I thought for sure Willem Dafoe's gonna like kill someone because he's so fucking crazy in this and unpredictable.
Yeah, but that's kind of where things go wrong, right? With the kidnapping, is that he like kills a guy who's actually like not a bad person.
Yeah.
But basically, before they go on the mission for the kidnapping, they make it a deal to everyone. Like Nicolas Cage and his two friends, he says to them, "We're either gonna complete the mission or we're gonna kill ourselves. Like we're not going back to prison.
Yeah.
We're not going back. So either we pull this off or we're going out samurai style, which means like oh, we're gonna fucking commit Harry Carey
Yeah.
and kill ourselves before we get arrested, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you probably can guess what fucking happens. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, it's
Yeah.
not. It's a kidnapping gone wrong. I mean, they all fulfill like their mission one way or another.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's where you can kind of like leave it at. I mean, you know Willem Dafoe's gonna die. Like,
Yeah.
you know he's gonna die. And then this movie is like very trippy.
Oh,
The
it's
way
so
it's shot,
trippy.
like there's
Yeah.
very like trippy stuff, and there's like that scene in the beginning when Willem Dafoe's looking at the mirror,
Yeah.
and he's like, oh, like
Yeah.
there's like that fucking wavy, his
But
eyes and his mouth. They're like,
it's not a distinct style though. Like it's definitely like I feel like a mishmash of a lot of different styles because there's like that scene at the beginning feels so distinct from the scenes in the middle, feels so distinct from the scene at the end where the bald guy's like shoots the cop and like fucking things ramp up. You know, remember? It's like it's like kind of Guy Ritchie-ish.
yeah. When they're in the grocery store,
Yeah, that shit's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I might get hate for this, but that's kind of like my problem with Paul Schrader a little bit is I feel like he doesn't have a distinct cinematic voice or cinematic language. He has a distinct voice.
he's a distinct writer.
He's a distinct writer, but I feel like his cinematic language doesn't really like translate. Even with First Reform, even with Card Counter, even with I haven't seen a lot of his other films, but like I feel like there's no distinct style there that like in the images, you know what I mean? Whereas I feel like I can distinctly tell when a Boss Chirostami's making a movie or when like Scorsese's making a film, you know?
Yeah, he doesn't have a distinct authorship. I think he kind of does though. I feel like his movies have the same thematically. They're very similar, and the characters are like scumbags and the criminal underworld, like that Taxi Driver.
Yeah, all his characters are
vibe.
never going to be like they're not going to be nice people.
Yeah.
They're always going to be flawed people.
No, there's always like a thread of like a grittiness throughout his movies, like, you know, kind of like street grimy type, all the way from like Taxi Driver and, you know, hardcore and like all the way up until now, basically. Besides like Mishima's very different.
Mishima is very different. Yeah, that's a wild movie. That's a good movie. Yeah, damn.
Yeah, but this movie is very violent.
Nicolas Cage, so fucking good in this. Willem Dafoe, so fucking good on this. The scenes with them together, you're like, oh my god, so good. And then there's that bald guy in it, and you're like, fuck, dude.
Well, he's good too.
He's all right. He's not like on the level of them, dude. Like he's not his scenes. I'm not like fucking. I'm like, all right. When's Willem Dafoe gonna come on the screen again? Like whenever fucking he has that scene with like. I think it's interesting, the dialogue there, the writing is really good, where he's talking about, you know, he has this girl that he kind of like brings back to his room and the hotel.
Oh yeah. That was that was cool.
He's like kind of like I just got out of prison, like he can't like express himself properly. He's definitely the most level-headed out of them, but like I was like, all right, like this doesn't. I don't know, just doesn't do it for me. Just like the writing, the writing was really good, but I felt like the acting was not performed at its best. You know?
Yeah, but I do think that it's a typical kidnapping story, but it's not about that. It's about like how that is told in the character. The characters are like very well done, and they're funny, and they're charismatic and stupid and
dude,
kind of
it's
losers.
So funny, dude.
Yeah, and the dialogue's really good. Like he writes really, really good dialogue, and I just love like when he talks about like rap music and shit. He's like, oh, it's fucking gangster rap.
Dude, they're so
videos.
offensive. Like Willem Dafoe's so fucking racist and offensive in this.
Yeah. I mean, they're all bad guys. Like they're all fucked up guys, which is really what Paul Schrader does best. He doesn't write about like good people and everyone, like, you know, no one's a hero. Like his perspective is like there are no actual real heroes. You know what I mean? There's like bad people who can do great things, crazy, like pull off crazy things, you know? Like that's what like Sorcerer is about. Like Sorcerer is about a group of bad guys who achieve something that's like really crazy. You know, and like people have abilities to like do like crazy things, you know? Like none of the guys in Dog Eat Dog are like that at all.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I'm sure the Safdie brothers love this movie too.
Yeah.
It's very like Safdie, like fucking things falling apart, like just domino effect type shit, you know?
Yeah.
Like people out of their element. Or in their element, and it's just like that's the way they know their life is through crime, you know? It's not Nicolas Cage says like, oh, we're gonna get this money, we can start a legitimate business, but like were they actually gonna do that? I don't think so, bro.
Probably not, yeah.
Prison is a school of crime.
Yeah, I love when Willem Dafoe, like, at the end, he's like, I'm really gonna turn my life around. He's really
Yeah.
he's really like, he's like,
He's so
you won't
desperate.
judge me, will you?
Yeah.
You said you won't. I thought you were friends and stuff. And I'm like, dude, this guy's so sad and
Yeah.
like he's my favorite actor for a reason. Dude. He's so good.
Yeah, he has such a distinct look to him.
Yeah.
Willem Dafoe.
Oh, he's so creepy looking when he takes his shirt off.
Yeah. No, that whole scene where he's like, can we please be friends? Like, I'm just so jealous of your relationship. Like,
Yeah.
please, like, I just want to have that. Like, he's like, well, I mean, you never fucked me over.
Yeah.
So if you're like honestly asking, coming into my life and asking for help, like, can I really say no?
Yeah.
And that was a really funny
Yeah.
scene
Yeah.
that went on. But and at the very end, the very last scene, the climax is very like Nicolas Winding Refn trippy dream like shootout that goes down. That's like a very interesting choice, but it felt good. Like it felt like a good cathartic like action scene at the end,
Yeah.
It really reminded me of the scene in Too Old to Die Young where John Hawkes is in the trailer park killing those people. It's like very stylized. It's not like, it's just like a cool, this is a cool like ending sequence that kind of brought it all together and was satisfying,
Yeah. I enjoyed the movie overall.
Yeah. It's a fun movie to watch with the bros if you're like into that. It's not like a masterpiece, but it's just like a good like fun crime movie like about dumb criminals.
Yeah.
Which is I can get into it, but we should watch Hardcore.
Oh, we should. I
really want to watch that with you.
What's the one? Blue Collar?
Autofocus?
No, Autofocus, but also the one with Harvey Keitel, Richard Pryor, I think.
That's all Paul Schrader?
Yeah. His first directed film.
Oh, do they talk about it in Easy Riders?
Yeah.
Dog Eat Dog. Check it out if you're into that. Nick Cage. Another Nick Cage review. Pow, pow, pow.